So, I have a question for you. Do you feel depleted, drained, tired, no energy? That sounds like a common question, or at least it's a common feeling that I have and have had for a lot of the time. I wanted to share with you a little bit about that, and that's what this video is going to be about this week. And I'm going to talk a little bit louder maybe, and you can probably hear that the rain is going on behind me, and I'm sitting out here on my deck, and I just thought this would still be a nice place to spend some time with you this morning. And I have my coffee, and I thought we could just chat. So in case nobody knows me, which probably many of you don't, I'm Susan from Hopeheartslove, and I work with women who are looking to reconnect to their hearts, reconnect to their peace and their self-love and their real, true inner truth. And I'm also an artist, and I create intuitive custom art as well. To create reminders for people to drop into their heart and to feel at peace, and especially the reminder that you are not alone. So welcome. I so appreciate you being here, and I hope that we can have a nice chat today. I'm going to give you 7 indicators of what depletion can look like from my experiences in my heart. So, did you answer that question I had for you in the beginning? Do you feel depleted or drained? I picture depletion and draining almost as if you look at a glass and you just slowly just watch it, the water drip out, drain right out. It's like you're the glass and you start out full, or maybe you haven't been full, and then little by little by little, it just keeps draining until there's nothing left. What does it feel like to feel drained? It can affect all areas of our lives. It affects our mental place, our spiritual, our emotional, from how we respond to things, how we are not taking care of our bodies, how we are just struggling to kind of survive and get through the day, not feeling the energy, the inspiration, or the motivation to be and do more that we would like. And so how does it happen that we get to that place? I know for me, I have been dealing with a lot of chronic issues, and the main one of recent has been Lyme disease, and I've mentioned that in a few of my other videos. And it's been a tremendous struggle, and I feel depleted and drained a lot of the time. Yes, it's a chronic illness, and you don't have to have a chronic illness to feel depleted and to feel drained. That just happens, honestly, for all of us in everyday life. The question is what do we do about it, and how do we find our way back? And so I'll share some of that with you as we go along, in kind of talking about what these different experiences are and the signs of what depletion might be. And maybe you'll recognize yourself in some of these. And then how do we find our way back to a place of feeling grounded and back to what we feel like aligned inside. Okay. So listen to the rain. I love the rain. I walk in the rain with my golden retrievers on the trails. I find it extremely peaceful. and relaxing. So I hope this brings you a little of that today as we kind of talk about this. So what are the 7 indicators, the 7 signs of what depletion and feeling drained looks like? The first one is self-critical. Now, I know you'll probably say or think I'm already self-critical. I'm always self-critical. Basically what that is the self-talk we have in our brain, what's going on in there. And many of us have that, negative self-talk, hard on ourselves, critical of ourselves, not giving ourselves the grace that we need. But when we're more depleted and more drained, that actually gets louder. And that voice gets louder, and I think we hear it a little deeper, and I think it hurts a little more. And it really does not help at all for us to feel at all better. So how loud is your self-talk? Is it talking over everything else? Something to think about. Second sign is almost being in a state of numbness. Nothing really affects you. You're just kind of going along like this, just neutral almost. Not any highs, not any lows, just kind of not feeling at all. Like kind of almost an emptiness feeling, I'd say. And that can feel like nobody understands you, that you're kind of feeling alone, that it's too hard to express how we feel, or we might not even know how to express how we feel or find the words. It's just all kind of stuck and numb. It's interesting when I think about it. I think I was all of these signs during a large part of that, moving through the acuteness of Lyme disease. So the third sign is reactivity. So reactivity is when you're quick to respond, quick to react, snappy, edgy, frustrated, verbalizing it, getting into arguments. Response comes from a more grounded, calm space. But reactivity is coming more from the quick mind of feeling overwhelmed, which is another sign later on. But becoming reactive, or being reactive, flaring up, can't control it. That's definitely a sign of being depleted. Number 4 is you're saying yes to things that you know in your heart you want to say no. You're people pleasing, you're giving, you're doing, but you want to slow down and you're not, and you're saying yes and really you want to say no, but saying no would then make you feel guilty and shameful, or you're not being kind or thoughtful. And so you keep saying yes. And every time you say a yes, you become more depleted and more drained. And then you become resentful. And then it's your body. So your body is tired. It's showing signs. Lack of sleep, not feeding your body, maybe not exercising or doing the things that you enjoyed doing before because you don't have the time. And your body is asking for some support. It's asking for you to listen. And when we're not listening, at some point it will get loud enough, and then we will have to listen because we'll get sick. So, not listening to the body and saying yes when you mean no are 2 more. Another sign is the overwhelm. Feeling overwhelmed. Not knowing how to make decisions. trying to make decisions and not trusting yourself, not, or make the decision and then second guess. And so the lack of self-trust and being overwhelmed in that, also adds to, us not feeling good about ourselves. And then we feel more down, which leads to the last one, which is joy. Where's the joy? Where's the smile? Where's the happiness, the fun? Because it's supposed to be fun. Somewhere in this life, it's supposed to be fun. So you're not experiencing that. You're not feeling that. Now, again, this doesn't mean that you're broken. It doesn't mean that you're a failure. It doesn't mean anything other than that you're human, and we're all going through that to some degree at some point. But it can feel real heavy and scary and alone when we get kind of deeper into where we can't know if we can find our way back out. So I want you to just take the moment and understand that you aren't alone, and there is a way through to find yourself in and amongst this space. And so I want to start today with end today, I should say. I'd like to end today with a heart reflection and a little breathing, and listen to the rain. So you can put your hand on your heart and just rest. And hear the rain. And feel your heartbeat. And ask yourself, where in my heart do I need to give some tender care? In what area of my life may I take one small step towards caring for myself? And just ease with that. It's only one small step. It doesn't have to be everything overnight. You can't hit all of those signs right away. Just pick one area. Maybe it's your body. Maybe it's learning to say no once for one small opportunity. Maybe it's doing one thing for 10 minutes that brought you joy that maybe you haven't done in a long time. Maybe it's the next time you hear something negative in your head about yourself, you just turn it around and say, I hear you. I am loved. And I am well. And there is hope. I want to leave you today with that reminder. I want to leave you today with that reminder that you are not alone and that you are loved. And there is hope. And that you can reconnect with your heart and your love and your peace and your inner truth. So with hope and with love, you are in my heart.